flip phone, man.
I did. I did get another flip phone. AT&T has a sweet new upgrade, so looking forward to checking out all the new features.
Oh, man, Teague, we got to get this guy a new model. He can't be rocking the flip phone. Come on.
Hey, he's bringing back, the old school. There's nothing wrong with being old school, which actually brings up a question I have regarding how you communicate, in particular with your father. Now, he's had an amazing post-playing career from NFL Europe, West Virginia, where he's been heavily involved, and now at the College Football Playoff Management Committee. What are your conversations with your dad like?
They're interesting. He's been in the sports world my whole life, and he played quarterback as well, backed up Archie Manning and Warren Moon on the Oilers for 5 years. So I think he's got definitely some unique insight to what a quarterback goes through on a daily basis. But more often than not, we're talking about something that's not relating to the NFL or football, but he's a great dad and obviously love him to death.
Yeah, and he obviously did a nice job raising you. I mean, listen, not many guys rack up 33 wins in their first 3 years. Last year, though, was a true dose of turmoil, little adversity. Your first time you've had that in the NFL. 2-5, you were banged up a bit. First off, how are you feeling? And secondly, how'd you deal with the last year?
Yeah, no, feeling very good. 100% ready to go for this year. And then, last year was disappointing, and didn't play as well as I would have liked to. Obviously, got injured and missed a bunch of time, but learned from it. And I think every year you have to learn and you have to grow and get better. And so excited for this season. Obviously, as a quarterback, you realize you got to be on the field. You're not helping the team if you're on the sidelines. So making sure you're as fit as possible and staying healthy is obviously a big goal.
Andrew, how much emphasis are your coaches putting on your health and doing the things to stay healthy, like getting down and not taking hits?
No, we've definitely talked about it and practiced it. And, it's situational awareness. It's knowing when to slide, knowing when to get rid of the ball. And maybe in the fourth quarter you do take that shot to try and get a ball off or dive to the end zone, whatever that may be. And then we have a great training staff, a great weight room that takes care of all of us, and they do a heck of a job making sure we're healthy and ready to go.
Joined by Colts star Andrew Luck, quarterback with us here on Tiki and Tierney, CBS Sports Radio. Andrew, it's really tough to criticize anything about your resume, but the one thing that jumps out, and Tiki and I have talked about this on the show, is your completion percentage. It's in the high 50s. I know you want to get that higher, say 62, 63, where most of the top quarterbacks reside. How do you do that?
Yeah, no, that is always a goal, and making sure the ball's in your playmaker's hands. And that's understanding the offense, it's understanding the defense, it's getting the ball in the right place. So that definitely is a focus and has been a focus throughout the offseason and training camp, and will be a focus throughout the season.
You talk about those playmakers, and I think that relates to where the Colts have always been for as long as I can remember. You guys have ruled the division, but now it seems like teams like the Texans and the Jags are taking some steps forward. Are you guys worried about the division catching up to where you have historically been?
You always want to win the division. That's always the truth. And then there's some really good teams, and Houston's obviously had some success, and Tennessee and Jacksonville are great franchises, and it's always tough. It's always tough to win a game in the NFL, as you know. But the goal, one of the goals is always to try and win the division, and that starts with winning your home games and trying to take care of your division games.
Andrew, I want to take you back to something you said about your dad and growing up, the conversations you had. His experience could obviously prep you for life in the NFL, but I'm curious, he can't teach you everything, so I'm sure at some point something popped up that kind of took you by surprise. What was it?
How long the NFL season is for a rookie. I think in college, I don't know, I think it's 12 games, maybe 13, and you're going to school, and there's sort of a little more going on. And you get to the NFL, you got your training camp into the season. You could as a rookie you could play legit 20 plus games, and that's long as a professional. So that was a bit of a grind the rookie year, and we try to help out all the rookies as they come through the locker room and making sure that they understand that it is a bit of a marathon, not a sprint.
Andrew, this is the first time that we've gotten a chance to talk to you on our show, and I'm sure you've answered this question a million times, but you replaced a legend in Indianapolis, and Peyton Manning. What was the initial reception, and do you feel like you're climbing a ladder to compete with his legacy? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do. The reception in Indianapolis since day one has been outstanding. I guess fans have treated me like their quarterback, not someone else, not expecting me to be anybody else, and I do appreciate that from all the fans, of the Colts in Indiana and in Indianapolis. And no, I've never felt like I'm trying to, climb up a ladder and compete with Peyton's legacy. What Peyton did in Indianapolis, it was incredible. Obviously one of the greatest quarterbacks ever, and not just on the field, but the stuff off the field that he did in this city is great. And I'm a fan. Today I'm a fan of Peyton Manning. But I've never felt like I had to compete with him or try to fill his shoes. I just try to do the best that I can do, and hopefully at the end of the day that's good enough.
Andrew Luck with us here on Tiki and Tierney, CBS Sports Radio, one of the young stars of the NFL. I think it's a smart approach. I got you. I hear what you're saying. And I'm curious, though, when you look at your peers, guys in your age group, the guys like Russell Wilson and Cam, how much do you pay attention to some of the accomplishments of those guys, and who are you closest with on other teams? Who are you tight with?
As a football, you're obviously aware of what's going on around the league. I've never really viewed it as a quarterbacks playing quarterbacks, so you got to do better than this quarterback. Every offense, every team is so different, and asks your quarterbacks to do so many different things. To me, football is the greatest team sport in the world, and then that's probably why I like it. I love it so much. And as far as guys in the NFL, there's a chance to obviously. I'm a big fan of Cam. I think he's a great guy. Russell, all those guys. Kirk Cousins, Ryan Tannehill. Bunch of us sort of in that age range, and then I played with a bunch of guys at Stanford like David DeCastro, Doug Baldwin, Richard Sherman, guys that I've played in school with. It's fun to see them every now and then out on the field.
Andrew, I'm curious about this as well. You're at an age now where you're obviously entrenched in the league, but you're not a guy with 11, 12 years on paper, so you're still learning a little bit about the league. What is your take on the schism between the NFL and the players? It's been a hot topic. What's your opinion on what's happening right now?
I've honestly sort of shied away from that. I've tried to focus a little more on me getting better as a player. And I don't think I have the liberty, maybe as some of the older guys that have been around and maybe seen things to have a firm, strong opinion on things. I just try to be a football player, man.
That's fair. But as you evolve, do you think you'll get to a position where you become more comfortable expounding on stuff like this as one of the faces of the NFL?
Absolutely. But that's a long way off, and who knows what happens.
Andrew, DirecTV has been a partner with the NFL for a long time. So what's going on with their new Fantasy Zone channel?
So now they have a Fantasy Zone channel on Sunday afternoons with all the fantasy analysis and everything. So along with the Red Zone channel, we've got the Fantasy Zone channel. And then if you don't have access to a satellite, you can go to NFLSundayTicket.tv and stream NFL Sunday Ticket now. So if you're a college student or living in an apartment or don't have access to a satellite, you got some great options like through your Apple TV with DirecTV.
Hey, before we let you go, Andrew, obviously you're keeping an eye on your boys over at Stanford. The Cardinals should be very good again. But how good is Christian McCaffrey? Is he going to be a star in the NFL?
I think he'll be great. I think he's going to have a great season this year, and however many more years he plays in college, and I think he's a great football player, and whatever he does, he'll be successful.
Andrew, good to hear you healthy. Nice catching up. Don't be a stranger. First time here on Tiki and Tierney. Door's always open for you, pal. We'll see you soon.
Hey, thank you. Thanks for having me.
All right, so Tiki, what's happened here? And again, appreciate Andrew coming on first.